Hello, everybody. This is Jack from tofluency.com, and welcome to this lesson where we are going to talk about how you can learn, remember, and use new words and phrases. So this is going to give you the strategies you need in order to expand your vocabulary and to be able to use this vocabulary while speaking. Because that's what we want to do, right? We want to be able to learn new words and phrases so that we can use them. Okay? So that we can use them. And in order to speak English with confidence and in order to have conversations with people, we need to use the right words and phrases at the right time. So let's have a look exactly what we are going to cover in today's lesson. So we're going to talk about the number one mistake learners make when learning new vocabulary. And I see people make this mistake all the time. My private students used to make this mistake, and I'm going to give you the solution for this. We'll also look at how to be more effective so you don't waste your time. Then we'll move on to the secret to remembering new vocabulary. And not many people do this. It's a fantastic method that will really change the way that you learn English. We'll also talk about how to use new vocabulary at the right time, where to find the best word lists and audio, and a bonus tip at the end, which is really important. So if you are new here, then welcome to you. Subscribe to this channel so that you can learn English with me in the future. And everybody who is watching live or watching the replay, please say hello. Please say hello. Let me know how the stream is doing. Is it good for you? Is it good for you? Okay. So please say hi in the comment section. Please say hi in the comment section. And for those watching the replay, you can actually see the live chat below, but I'll also show you some comments over here. Over here. So we've got people from Bangladesh and Spain, lots of different places coming in. Thank you so much for joining me today. So let's just go back to this, the lesson today. Okay, this is what we are going to discuss. And we're going to do it in 3 stages. We're going to talk about how to learn new vocabulary. Okay, the first start is how to learn something new. Then how to remember it, number 2. And then finally, how to use it. How to use it. Now, it's worth saying at this stage that you don't need to use all the vocabulary that you learn. So if you learn new words and phrases, you don't always use it. Because, for example, if you are watching a movie that is based on a trial case in a courtroom, you won't really use the kind of words and phrases that lawyers use or judges use. But it's good to know what it means. So that's a really key point. You don't need to make all vocabulary active. It's not necessary. But if you want to be able to speak English, then you need to learn new words and phrases that are specific to you in your situation. That's just an important thing to know when we are going through all this. Okay, so it's time for a question. Where can you find new words and phrases? Where can you find new words and phrases? Let me know in the chat section or in the comment section. Where can you find new words and phrases? Because this is a really important part of learning. And it's related to the number one mistake that I see people make. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But where can you find new words and phrases? Okay, we're going to go through some of these right now. So Ingrid said, in newspapers. Fantastic. In newspapers, in books, everywhere, in songs, 4,000 essential English word book, movies, everyday real situations, news and books. Joseph says, I read a lot in the movies, BBC News website, reading. Great. So we've got some good answers here. Keep them coming. Somebody mentioned a word list. A word list. So you can go and say, the most important 1,000 words I need to learn in English, and find that in Google and find a word list. You can also do it through lessons on YouTube. Lessons on YouTube. You can do it in books. You can find new words and phrases in books, TV shows and movies. And somebody said real life situations, conversations. So when you are having a conversation with somebody, you can be learning new words and phrases. When they say something new, you can learn what they are saying. Okay, so the key point here is that we can find new words and phrases everywhere, like people have said. Like people have said, we can find new words and phrases everywhere. You can find them in dictionaries. You can find them in books and movies. And the key point here is this, because not all words and phrases that you find, or where you find words and phrases, some places are better than others. And what I want you to do is to know this number one mistake, okay? So we're going to talk about the number one mistake, and it's this: not learning new words and phrases in context. Not learning new words and phrases in context. And we can talk about context in two ways: the context of the sentence and the context of the situation. The context of the sentence and the context of the situation. Okay. Just take a moment to think about that, because the sentence shows you how to use it. How to use it. Is it an adjective? Is it a verb? Is it a phrasal verb? Is it a noun? What kind of noun is it? If it's a verb, can you use it with its specific adjective? If it's a phrasal verb, is it separable or inseparable? And the context of the sentence gives you that information. Now, the next part, the context of the situation. This is also important too, because you can see on your screen it says when to use it. When to use it. So it gives you the context of when to use it. So, for example, if you are watching a TV show and somebody in that TV show is really angry, okay, and they say, go away, go away. And they say it with anger, and you know the situation, you know the story. That gives you great context for when to say it, okay? Because you know you say go away with that intonation and stress when you are angry. Go away. So, context of the situation and context of the sentence. Does that make sense? Let's have a look at the live chat. Just need to move this over a little bit. 1 second. There we go. And I'll move this way. So Ingrid says, yes, it's right. It's important to learn in chunks and this situation. That way it's easy to connect the language to the situation. Some people, first time watching. Somebody asked the question, how to realize a new word is really common. Great question. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. People saying very interesting. Very interesting. Good. So context is so important. Context is so important. Okay, let's now look at an example. An example will help you. I'm going to learn a phrasal verb now. The phrasal verb is put away. And look at this picture. Look at this picture. So let's say this is a TV show, and you can see the woman is on her phone. She's laughing. She is obviously very engaged in the conversation. But how is the guy feeling? How is the guy feeling, the man? Because he looks annoyed. He looks annoyed. He looks angry. He's not very happy with her being on her phone. And then after the scene, he says, could you put your phone away while we're in a restaurant or in the restaurant? Could you put your phone away while we're in the restaurant? So you're learning the phrasal verb, put away. And a lot of the time, you can understand the meaning from the context. You can understand the meaning from the context. So to put away, you can understand what this means from the context. It means to put it in your pocket, to not use it, to put it away, to not use it, to put it in your pocket. But we are learning how to use this phrasal verb, but also we're learning the sentence too. This is vital. You are learning exactly how to use this. Could you? It's a request. And after could you, put your phone away. Put your phone away. So we're learning how to use different elements of a sentence with this phrasal verb. And then the added part of this is while we're in the restaurant. While we're in the restaurant. Okay, so you're also learning that part of the sentence. And what we're doing here is we are learning grammar. We're not learning grammar rules in the sense of we're studying grammar rules, but we're learning the grammar from the sentence. Could you put your phone away while we're in the restaurant? So, what you can also do, at this stage, it's important to understand what this means. Okay, and let me just come back on screen. So, you can learn from the situation. You learn put away means to not use your phone, to put it in your pocket, in your purse, put it somewhere where you're not using it. Okay? But you can also then do a couple more things. You can use an online dictionary to look up the meaning. You can translate the meaning. And you can also put it into Google to look at forums so people explain what this means. So that's the first part. It's to learn what the actual vocabulary or word or your phrase means. It's to know the meaning. And this is an important part. This is an important step because you need to know the meaning in order to use it properly. And the context of the situation can help you understand what it means. But also we can use an online dictionary and a translator or Google to truly understand what this means. So let's say you say, okay, I understand put away from this situation, from the context. I kind of understand it, but let's look at more examples. Let's go and use word reference or an online dictionary to look at more examples. So this is what you might find. You might find, are you ready for it? These type of examples. Okay? Class, put your phones away, please. Put it away. We had to put away our phones during class. Do you have to put your phones away during class? So just getting those examples, having a few more examples in sentences can really help you truly understand when and how to use it. Because look at example number 2. Class, put your phones away, please. So we're using the imperative tense, the command tense. Put your phones away. This is what teachers say. Put your phones away. Class, put your phones away, please. If you want to be a little bit more polite. But we're learning how to use put your phones away. The next one, put it away. When we want to use a pronoun instead of the noun, put it away. Put it away. And if you hear the audio, you can also understand how we say this. Put it away. Put it away. Repeat that. So try this now. Repeat it. Put it away. Put it away. Put it away. Okay? So we're learning how to use it with put away. The next one, we had to put away our phones during class. Now on this one, you'll notice our phones comes after put away. So you're learning that we can do both. Put your phone away your phone. Put your phone away, put away your phone. You're learning that we can do both here. And then the last one is just using it as a question. Do you have to put your phones away during class? So what we're doing here is we're learning how to use put away in different ways with different types of sentence structure. And also we're going to learn grammar and sentence structure in a natural way. In a natural way, without thinking about grammar rules and without thinking about translating. So, a good thing to do now is to practice. Okay? Practice. Give me a couple more examples, or one example of put away. To put away. Just give more examples of that in the live chat. And that way, that goes on to stage 3 a little bit, is how to practice. But stage 1 is so important. To find words and phrases. We're going to talk about, at the end, where to find them, or a bonus tip for which ones to use. But firstly, when you find a new word and phrase that is interesting to you, in a book, in a word list, on a TV show, to firstly try to understand what it means from the situation, then look up the definition or a translation, and then look at more examples. Look at more examples. Let's just have a look at the chat. Put the toys away, says Molly. Very good. Put the toys away. Put the toys away. Sometimes I Google words. I just heard to know the meaning, but after some time I forget it. That is step 2. Step 2. We are going to talk about that in about 3 minutes. Step 2. I was asked to put my phone away. I put the groceries away, or I put away the groceries when I came home. The child was told to put away his toys. Perfect. Stop writing. Put away your pens and listen to me intently. Very good. Put your trash away from my sight. Yeah. Throw your trash away. Throw your trash away. Put your hands away. I tell my brother to put away his phone at dinner time. You should have a podcast. I would listen to your podcast every day. I should have a podcast. You are right. But great examples, everybody. Great examples. That is stage 3. Okay, stage 3. Now, another place that you might want to get new words and phrases is through conversations. Now, conversations are a great place to get new words and phrases if you want to improve your conversational English. If you want to learn the types of words and phrases, and also grammar, that people use when speaking. And what you're looking at now is a conversation lesson that my wife and I had. We've made 11 of these lessons, and this is actually inside the To Fluency program. And there is a link to find more information about this program in the description. But I'm using this as an example because conversations, like I just said, are one of the best ways to find new words and phrases if you want to learn conversational English. If you want to learn conversational English. And just here is a quick example of this, okay? So inside the program, you get the conversation here, and then you also get the words and phrases that we used. Okay. And I want to just focus on this one here. Can you see? Let me just make this highlight for you. She managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep. She managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep. So what you have here is the phrasal verb, get by on, and also manage, to manage. She managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep. So let's say you're watching this conversation and you want to learn that phrase, to get by on. So again, what you can do is try to understand it from the situation. She managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep. So maybe you can understand what this means from the situation. But you can also look it up or use resources. For example, each of these conversations comes with a language analysis. And if you look at this sentence here, she managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep. So inside the program, I give you an explanation. To get by is a less dramatic way of saying I survived a situation. And then you can get more examples. I get by with a little help from my friends. It's a famous Beatles song. So you can understand the meaning and get more examples of this. You can get more examples of this, okay? So a big part of this is, again, getting the types of words and phrases and sentences, because sentences are what we need to learn new vocabulary and context from conversation. From conversation. Okay, so just going back to this now. I have so many windows open, it's quite difficult to manage. But going back to this. So we've learned so far that it's important to learn new words and phrases in context of the situation, of the sentence, so you know how and when to use it. And if you want to learn conversational English, to get words and phrases from conversations. Let's now talk about what a lot of you want to know is how to remember. How to remember. Because it's not being able to learn a new phrase is one thing, but you want to be able to remember it, to remember what it means and how to use it, and then to remember how to use it so you can use it, so that you can use it in conversation. So we don't want to learn something and then just forget it. We don't want to do that. So what we do to remember is this. Remembering is all about repetition. Remembering is all about repetition. You need to repeat the word and get repetition for this in order to remember it over the long term. So remembering is all about repetition. So this is what you should do. Repeat the sentence. So find the sentences that you want to learn and repeat them. Repeat today, tomorrow, in 2 days, 4 days, 8 days, etc. So you could do this using a notebook. But look at point number 3. Use technology to manage all of this for you. Use technology to manage this all for you. So, the reason why, just to go back, the reason why you want to repeat it today, then tomorrow, 4, 8, 16, or something similar to that, is because you want to also be really effective at remembering things. You don't want to do more than you have to remember. If you try to repeat every sentence you know or you're learning every day, you won't have time to do this. We want to be effective with our language learning. The Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. We want to be effective with how we learn new words and phrases and how we remember new words and phrases. So we can use technology to do this for us, to give us the flashcards, to give us the sentences when we need to see them so that we can remember long term. And I want to go back and show you something new now. Hopefully this is going to be clear. So look at this on your screen. This is using software called Anki. A-N-K-Y. I recommend that you get this application, Anki. And what you can do is create your own flashcards, or if you're part of the To Fluency program, all those phrases that you saw before, you can download these and use them. So I'm just going to give you an example of how this works. And it won't be perfect, but it's going to give you a good idea. Because, listen to this.
She managed to get by on only 4 hours of sleep.
So, with the flashcards that I provide, I also give you audio, which will help you remember. And then, what you do is you go through these flashcards and you can do a few things. You can listen, you can repeat, which I highly recommend. You can write them down. So you can listen to the flashcard, you can repeat it out loud, or you can write it down. And I think writing down and repeating is the best way to do this. But if you look at the bottom of your screen, and hopefully you can see this, it says show answer. And a lot of the flashcards I provide give you the definition of the most common or the most important phrase here. Okay? So to get by on something, manage on a certain amount of something. To get by on something. To manage, to survive on a certain amount of something. And then at the bottom, you can say good or easy. If it's easy for you, you're going to see this flashcard in 4 days. If it's good, if you think, oh, that's okay, you'll see it again in less than 10 minutes.
I only got 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered.
And you'll also notice my intonation. It's like I'm tired. I only got 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered. And you can press R to repeat it. So what I want you to do is to listen to this phrase and then repeat it.
I only got 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered.
Good. And then again, you can show answer. I've already seen this, so I say good. I'm going to see that tomorrow.
I'm suffering from sleep deprivation.
I sound tired, don't I? I think I'm suffering from sleep deprivation. And then again, show answer. Good.
We're suffering from a lack of sleep at the moment.
So you can see how repeating these types of sentences is going to help you learn them over the long term. And again, look at the bottom of your screen. You can say good. So you're going to see that tomorrow when you open up your software. If it's easy, you'll see it in 4 days. And I highly recommend only using the cards that you think are going to be good for you. So if you download the flashcards that I provide, you can delete the card. If you don't think it's useful, delete it. And then use the ones that you think are going to be useful. Again, it's about making sure it's specific to you. So that is Anki. That is how to remember new words and phrases. And I'm just going to show you inside the program, if we go back to this. So you can see, you can listen to the phrases here.
I only got 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered.
And I also do it at a slower speed.
I only got 3 hours sleep last night. I'm knackered.
And the reason we do this is because I say the phrases at full speed, at normal speed. But it might be difficult for you to repeat that at the full speed. So you can practice at a slower speed and then go to the full speed once you are ready. Okay? So those are the type of phrases that you can learn with the program. And we have all these different topics here. There is going to be winter coming this week. Winter is coming this week. And just to say also, this is new today, talking about the temperature. You might remember this lesson. But we have sentences related to temperature. So you watch the video to learn the phrases in context. And then you download these phrases, you download the Anki cards, and you start repeating them. And a big part of this is to also record your own voice when you repeat them so that you can make changes. And if you're curious about the program too, there is a full pronunciation tutorial which goes through the sounds of English, and it also gives you the opportunity, if we look at this lesson, to practice similar sounds together. And at the bottom here, you can send me your audio recordings and I will give you feedback on those audio, on your recordings. So it gives you the chance to practice and to get some type of evaluation, your speaking evaluation. There's also lessons on things like connected speech and relaxed pronunciation. So then you can practice things like I need it, I wanted it, print it. And again, you can send me your recording. So let's just go back to my face. But again, the key, learn. So you learn new words and phrases. Then you get the repetition that you need and use technology and learn sentences. This is so important. Don't memorize vocabulary. Do not just memorize one word and think, okay, this means this. Put away, put away. Learn the sentence and learn sentences that you are likely to use. Okay? That's so important. Learn conversational English. Learn conversational English. This is part of the bonus tip that we're going to talk about soon. Live chat. Okay. Where can we get the videos in your service? Okay, so there is a link in the description that will take you to the page where you can get instant access to this program. And you'll be able to download all these materials too. Gemma says, great resource too. Yeah, Gemma is a member. So yeah, take a look at the link below and see if it's for you or not. But you'll be able to get all those materials if you join, and all future materials too. So learn new words and phrases. Repetition is key. Repeat sentences and repeat them in a smart way where you are using technology that's going to give you the sentence at the right time. So then you're not spending an hour a day doing all this repetition. Instead, you're doing 10 to 15 minutes. What I also recommend is to add about 10 new sentences a day at first, and then 5. And I talk about this in the program because you don't want to have too many to review. You want to make it easy for you to do on a daily basis. Let's talk about now how to use new vocabulary, because we've already said how to learn and remember, but now how to use it. Say the sentence out loud. Okay? So say the sentence out loud. Repeat sentences like we talked about. Write the sentence down and also create similar sentences. So write down new sentences that use the vocabulary that you've learned. So let's say put away. A lot of people gave examples of put away. And this is a way for you to practice and how to to practice using it, And you can think of the situation. Like, for example, someone said, my brother needs to put away his phone during dinner. So you can think of the context. You can also think about, put away your phone, it's dinner time. Put away your phone, it's dinner time. And that's the context of what you would say at dinner. But you're also practicing how to create sentences. Writing is fantastic. Practice your writing. And then use Grammarly to make sure that you are writing things correctly. Again, Grammarly is a great resource. I'll leave a link in the comment section after I've done this live lesson, so you can go get that. So, say the sentence out loud, write it down, create similar sentences, and finally, use it during a conversation. This is a really good point. Use it during a conversation, because that helps you use it in a very natural way. So use it during a conversation. Make sure that you can practice it with somebody you know, somebody who is going to help you, give you correction. So maybe a teacher. So yeah, this is an important part of it. And that's why the flashcards are important too, because you can repeat it. And you can repeat it today, tomorrow, 4 days, 8 days, whenever you need to repeat it according to how easy it is for you. And then when it comes to having natural conversations, you can just say the phrase. And if you get enough sentences, you're going to be learning grammar. You're going to be learning how to use it flexibly. And that's an important point. You're going to learn so much grammar following this method. You might not be able to explain grammar rules, but you're going to learn the grammar in a more natural way. Because again, if you say things like, put it away, put it away, put it away, so many times you're learning put and then it, then away. You're learning the pronoun goes in between the put and the away. And therefore, you're learning grammar rules. It's so important to think about it in that sense. Going back here. Bonus tip. 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule. So let me bring this up again. This is just something that is so important. It's to learn, if you want to learn conversational English, focus on learning conversational phrases. That's why I always use conversational examples in the phrases that we make and the videos that we make on YouTube, because we know that most people want to learn English that they use when they're speaking. They want to learn it in that context. They want to be able to speak English and use those types of phrases correctly. So that's why it's important to think about the types of phrases you need to learn. Don't just find 50 idioms and try to remember them, because just getting it from a word list online doesn't give you enough context. I find a lot of learners try to use idioms and they use them at the wrong time or the wrong situation. Some idioms we don't use anymore. Like, people don't say it's raining cats and dogs, but you're going to learn this idiom in, like, on a website, in a textbook. But it's not going to tell you, okay, people don't really use this anymore. That's why we created those resources, so you can take the phrases that people are using, that Kate and I use in everyday conversations. And also the phrase videos we make are based on real English, English that people use. So focus on those types of phrases. Also, think about what is going to help you in your situation. So if you use your English for business, and you give presentations, learn the type of English you need for those presentations. It's all about being effective. And this method that I've talked about today is super effective. It's really effective. It's going to help your English in a big way. It's going to make sure that you're doing the right things in order to learn new vocabulary and also understand grammar and internalize grammar. And again, if you want the resources that I've shown you today and the program and the downloadable phrases and the downloadable flashcards, then join the To Fluency program. Again, there's a link in the description and you'll be able to find out more about that. You get instant access and you can download anything straight away. You can download it all straight away. You don't need to wait a week or a month. You can just focus on what you want to learn, get those phrases, and that works for no matter the type of payment that you want to make. Okay, live chat. Live chat. I can understand what you say, but I can't speak. Exactly, Nihan, this is what this method is about. It's about you learning new vocabulary and learning the sentences so that you can use them naturally. Esther, hi Jack from Barcelona. One of the things I do now is write down phrasal verbs in different tenses. I love that. This is when it comes to the using, the practice. Use Grammarly, take a phrasal verb and write it down in different tenses for different people as well. Using modal verbs too. So you must put your phones away. In class, here in America, students don't have to put their phones away. It's not necessary. When I was a kid, we had to put our phones away. I put my phone away last night. I hope she puts her phone away soon. So having all these different, just practicing it in these different ways allows you to create these sentences flexibly. And when you're writing and you're using a tool that gives you feedback on this, then it allows you to really just take your time and get it correct. Okay? Great. Ingrid says, excellent presentation, very, very clear concept. I love the way you communicate. We can understand everything you say. Gemma says, Jack, please, do you mind writing down the link of the group here? Which group? Which group? Anderson, do you recommend an app to learn more English easily? Anki. It's what we've talked about today. Anki is perfect. It's perfect. I really want to learn everyday English, but I don't have a teacher. You don't need a teacher. Don't need a teacher. You can follow this method and do it on your own. I can't put away my phone now. I'm watching Jack's lessons. Very cool. Okay, everybody. Thank you again so much for watching this. If you've enjoyed it, like and share it. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And then check out the link in the description. Read more about the program. See if it's for you. There's this whole pronunciation tutorial. You get feedback on your speaking. You get all these lessons, Anki cards, memory cards, flashcards. You get downloadable phrases. And it's all in context using this method in the right way. Some other things inside the program too. So I would love to have you. Okay, so click that link, check it out, and get instant access. Okay, everyone, thank you again for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.